something that embarrassed you that like you had to do on camera?
Oh, I don't know about on camera, but 93 through 97, at the time, I wish I could have deleted it.
Andy, do you have a moment like that?
I don't know, not really.
Was it on Bean that he made you do? Rowan Atkinson, did he make you do anything?
No.
Very embarrassing on
No.
Bean? Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
No embarrassing moments for you, huh?
I mean, maybe in life, but on a set, no. I have no inhibitions. I let it all go.
I would love to start the pod, but we can't because Matt's sending what he classified as a very important email. Very important. Hold on a minute.
It's just work. Okay, let's go.
Mealy worms.
No, I wish
coming in late.
I wish you don't understand. It's so funny. I'm already like now I've got all this work and everything's working. But now I don't know if I'll ever be completely content because now I'm like, man, I just want to spend the whole day with my animals.
I know.
And I can't. Now I literally can't.
I know. It's an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing.
It's an
It's
amazing
an
thing.
aphrodisiac for a lot of
It's
people.
an amazing thing how the grass is always greener.
You wanting to spend all day long with your grubworms and
I don't know what it is, dude. I can sit out
I
there
know.
and like
It's
I'll
good,
go
though. I
out
love it.
there. I'll
Love
go
it.
out. I'll go out back.
Yeah.
And I'll like, okay, I got an hour.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just take care of the Jackson chameleons, right? And the Jackson 5.
Yeah.
I gotta get 5 of them. I got 4. I just need one more to have the complete Jackson. Oh, dude, so good.
Chameleons are out there going.
Oh man.
Anyway, happy Friday, everybody. This is
I
the
didn't
Brotherly
finish
Love
my
Pod.
story.
Well, can you
Okay.
finish it after I do this?
Yes.
Because people are listening to this going, what the hell is going on? Why did I tune in?
You jumped in on a little conversation.
So
Side
just
note
pause
we're
it.
having.
Hold it for 1
So we're
second.
gonna do a little introduction, and we're gonna get right back into it.
Oh, right back into it, and we can't wait.
Right back into
Everyone's on bated breath, waiting. The whole country. They're like this right now.
Come on, Joe.
Huh? Happy Friday. God bless everybody. This is the Brotherly Love Pod. You are watching it. Check out what?
Andy needs to
Come on.
say
Oh,
something.
yeah, you say something.
Come on, Andy.
Welcome to the pod, baby.
Oh,
It's
come
Friday.
on, yes.
Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out our merch in the online store link and show description.
Yes.
Welcome,
See,
baby.
you can
Welcome.
do it. Woo! We're back. All right, now jump into your horrible story so we can get on to other stories.
Okay, well, I don't know what it
I don't
is.
know, it's
you know,
not horrible, Joe.
it's not a
It's
horrible
a
story. It's actually an amazing
It-
story.
it is an amazing
So I'll
one.
have like an hour. But like, okay, I'm just gonna do because
The
now I have
Jackson
to break it
chameleons.
up into different species because I just can't do them all at
course.
once. It just doesn't
And that's
work. well.
everybody comes into
Anyway,
what species?
So I'm gonna go to the
Like,
Jackson chameleons, and they're
Yep.
all up high,
Right.
Because chameleons like to be they're boreal. They like to be in trees,
boreal,
right? Yeah.
absolutely.
So they're all up high, and I'll walk out in the backyard, and there's one spot right on the steps as you exit the house where you can track the chameleons there up in the trees and the chameleons there up in the trees.
Cool.
And I'll go out. I swear, I'll be like, I have an hour to feed them, and I'll get to the steps, and the food, is
Oh,
another
their
10 feet
eyes.
away, and I'll stop, and I'll start looking and really watching for their behavior, right? Because I've tried to set up these cages as best I can, but I don't know.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that there are certain quadrants of the cage that they just never use. And I'm trying to get to the bottom of that. I haven't. And I'm not kidding, Joe. My alarm will go off and the whole hour has passed. No food's been distributed. I haven't moved. I'm strictly just been watching and monitoring where and what and how they're navigating through their captive environment.
Interesting.
Fascinates me.
Wow. You're never gonna get that hour back.
The fact that and then on the other flip side, when I walk outside, I'm not even expecting, and I look up and out of the side of my eye, I catch a Jackson chameleon, and I look over.
I
and
love their eyes.
and they have the spades.
Yeah.
Jackson chameleon, they have these spade patterns on the side.
Yeah.
Literally, it's a spade.
You should
And it
redo the song instead of Betty Davis eyes, called Jackson Chameleon eyes.
I love it, Joe.
You got Jackson Chameleon eyes when they roll on
Yeah, I love it.
and they move left
Yeah.
and they go 360 and hold. Anyway,
They rotate independently from themselves.
right. It's atrocious.
So precocious.
You got Jackson Chameleon eyes.
Takes to make the progress.
You know what's an amazing thing that they do too? I love that song.
I love
Jackson
that song.
Chameleon eyes.
I love it.
It's a
You know
great
what? You know what
song.
else they do that I absolutely? It just makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside.
What?
Is when the wind blows,
Mhm.
Jackson chameleons use the swaying motion of the trees to actually move from branch
That's
to
so cool.
branch. So the wind will blow, and all of a sudden you'll see them going
So
like this.
cool.
because they're mimicking the way a leaf flutters.
That's so cool.
So that if you're a predator and you're just kind of scanning the
you wouldn't
environment,
know because they're not. They're going
mimicking the leaves.
Right.
And you know what's another crazy thing that I just came across? I'd kind of always known this, but this really just got me. That you know how you see like a tiger out in the wild, and you're like, it sticks out to a human being like it's orange.
Deers,
it's orange.
See tigers?
Yeah. So it's orange, or you see this incredible black and white pattern of a zebra, and again, it sticks out to us. That's because we're trichomats. That means we see the orange color.
That's not a word you use every day, but
all the prey of these animals can't see that, and to them, a tiger is green, like from He-Man.
Yeah.
No.
That's the way animals see their prey, see the tiger. So they perfectly blend in with the grasses and stuff, dude.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, they don't see.
Are you telling me
color.
tigers are perceived as green?
Yeah, they don't see the orange the same way we do.
Yes. They see muted black and whites and greens,
like
and that's
He-Man.
it.
Speaking of which, I can't wait to see the live action He-Man.
I'm actually one. I didn't even know that.
Oh, it's done.
Who did it? Who played He-Man?
Oh.
Chris Hemsworth? I hope?
No.
What?
He played Thor. You can't play Thor.
Yes, you can. He's he is He-Man.
Oh, I have the power of Grayskull.
Oh, I would have loved it.
I have the power of Grayskull. No, I don't know who played. Sam will look it up for us and get back to us. But
Sam just waved you off.
But I'm
He's not getting back to you at all.
Hey, Sam, come on, man. Give me He-Man. Come on, buddy. Anyway, it looks good. I'll get the info.
It does. It looks good.
It looks pretty cool.
Who's playing the Skull?
Oh gosh, I knew you were gonna say.
Who is playing that character? If you say Jared Leto, I will frickin' throw my phone at the wall.
He's playing Skeletor.
He is playing Skeletor.
That's an evil skeleton.
That's Jared Leto.
It's Jared.
Yeah. It's
Just
crazy.
ruined He-Man for me. God dang it.
I know, of course.
Jared Leto.
Oh,
Honestly,
gosh.
Jared
Leto.
He's got to take a little break from being
Him
in
and
franchise movies for a
you know what
while.
else he friggin' destroyed for me was Blade Runner 2049. In that orange room, those weird contacts, overacting. I couldn't stand it.
I don't know the music videos. That's where he gets me, man.
Are you kidding me?
yeah.
Jared Leto's in another.
I know,
my
but
gosh.
regardless, they
Please tell me he's
going to
do Skeletor with an Italian accent.
Why would you talk to me like that? The
He-Man.
He-Man.
How could you do this to me? God.
So funny.
Anyway.
It looks kind of cool though. Whereas the first live action He-Man was Dolph Lundgren, and that was horrible.
Although, to be honest, as a kid, I still enjoyed it.
we enjoyed it, but dude, it wasn't a good movie.
Yeah, it
we
wasn't
were
a good
such huge
movie.
fans of the animated dude.
Dude,
That
well, here's the
animated
thing,
series with the Beast,
dude.
and
The fact that his companion, his right hand man, was a giant tiger. You had me, dude.
Yeah.
That was like
Liger.
Oh my gosh, no, it was just a very large tiger.
Very large
but
tiger. Look, I don't want to digress too much and get too far in the weeds on this, but why is the tiger, right? Why is the lion considered king of the jungle? Why is that? They're not in jungles. Tigers. And actually, tigers are bigger and are more ferocious than lions, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's
So why did the
it's
lion,
debatable, but
the
yes,
king of the jungle, is the lion?
tiger is in my opinion,
Apex.
You can't beat a tiger. In fact, I watched this
They can
documentary.
also climb better than lions.
Oh yeah, they jump more. They can do everything.
my
They're more
point is,
agile. They're stronger.
Why are
they're-
lions king of the jungle?
because
No. Why?
why? Here's my hypothesis, Joe.
Okay.
Is because back when modern culture started to develop in Roman, the Greek era, and they were bringing these animals through Europe to showcase the exotic, crazy things they found. I think people just assumed it was a jungle. I just don't think they knew any better. And the male lion with that mane is the most impressive characteristic
Yes, no doubt.
of all large predators out there. That giant mane
But
that
it's
basically
wild
makes
to
him
me.
impossible for anything to kill because he's just trying to
Padded.
bite through
It's
that.
padded.
Try to bite through that mane. I mean, to get anywhere. That's why when a male lion's in trouble, he'll just sit down.
Right.
Because the only other real
His
sensitive
hind.
area is his balls and his hind reason. No, I'm serious, dude.
really-
Hyenas will go strictly for
Yeah.
a male lion's
If you see
balls.
If you see
It's true,
a
dude, to
pack
try to
of
take 'em
a
out.
pack of hyenas will jump on a male hind.
So they sit
back
down
hind.
and they just spin around because they don't have to worry about any attack right now. So that is what I'm thinking. Is you'd see this lion and you'd be like,
But
he
aren't
must have
they-
come
but
from the
they're-
jungle, or they probably
they're-
just
Right.
It's probably like a press thing.
But
You know what I mean? Like
they're desert they're out
Savannah.
Savannah, right?
Yeah, they're not jungle at all.
At all.
Certain, I mean, I'm sure there are
They
certain
might venture
lions.
into jungle areas.
Also,
But to be
At one-
honest, they venture more into desert than they do
But at
into
one
jungle. in
point,
my
at
opinion.
one point, maybe they would.
Well, you know, there are lions also in India and in Asia. There's the Asiatic
So that's where
lion
that's
as
where they're
well.
coming from. Jungle Book's coming from Asia. It's not coming from.
But they're not
the
as
Jungle Book got it right. It was Tiger.
the Jungle
It
Book
was
got
Shere
it
Khan.
right.
Yeah.
Shere Khan. Yeah, absolutely.
They got it right.
Now here's an interesting thing to prove your point, kind of about how tigers are actually the apex. They're above a lion when it
Tigers,
comes
right? Yeah.
Yeah, tigers.
I read they're bigger.
They're bigger.
They're faster.
faster,
And they're more
stronger.
and they're stronger.
Yeah. So here's the thing: this guy, and nobody told me he's this Canadian naturalist and big cat specialist. I think his name is Dave
He also makes
Malvoni.
animal balloons on the side.
I think his name is Dave Malvoni. He's super
really
dope.
Dave
dude.
Malvoni.
I'm not sure. That might be
Like
completely
an
wrong.
Italian guy.
He's super freaking cool. This guy's dope. Anyway, he
What does he
had
do?
had these tigers. He's big cat special, but he had these tigers, and he wanted to prove that tigers could survive in Africa better than lions.
Interesting.
Oh my gosh.
So he
Why are there
had
no tigers?
he had these rescued tigers, right? And he brought them out, and he got permission to raise them on about 150 hectares of this park that he had, or he was
reserve.
working with a reserve, and he took these 2 tiger cubs. Joe, when I tell you, he taught them how to hunt wildebeest and all the other things. When I tell you that for play, when he would take them out to go find, because he would walk with them, you have to build that kind of bond with big cats, otherwise they'll kill you.
Take you. Yeah.
So he's walking them out to go on a hunt,
Yeah.
and by the time they were like a year old, which is still young for a tiger, still would be probably around its mother, a male and female at this point.
Yeah.
He's taking them out, and for fun, they're catching 3 and 4 wildebeests at a time and letting them go just for fun. They're that effective at hunting. Whereas a lion might get 1 out of 3 or 4 that it goes for. They were literally just picking them off, throwing them, picking them off, throwing them, picking them off. They were like they were slow and
That's crazy.
it was unbelievable. They're also more stealthy. They can
crazy.
stalk better.
Well, that's the thing.
Do you know that a tiger?
They got that.
Do you know that a
right
tiger
in,
can pounce 30 feet from a standstill? So from a tiger sitting in the grass, it can jump
like the Michael
pounce
the Michael Jordan
30
of cats.
feet
Yeah.
away.
Wow.
It can
Crazy.
jump 15 to 18 feet high. It can swipe at something 15 to 18 feet. That's a 700-pound cat launching 15 feet straight up,
to me,
30 feet vertically.
My favorite cat is a tiger. That's my
they're
favorite cat.
absolutely
They're
gorgeous.
just tremendous.
And
looking.
nothing beats the Amur or the Siberian.
Siberia.
Oh my God.
Siberia is-
800-pound,
I know, dude.
massive
Unbelievable.
tiger with the chromatic white to the deep.
Orange bronze.
Oh yeah, it's incredible.
They are the coolest.
Oh, they're just
Amazing. Anyway,
with those
so-
cheek,
yeah,
those like
they're
sideburns.
beautiful.
I just
They're
want to
beautiful.
scratch.
They're
Oh
beautiful.
my
They're
gosh!
beautiful. Yeah.
You know, a
If
tiger.
I'm not mistaken, that's the one they modeled Shere Khan after. They tried
Yeah,
to
yeah,
make him
Well, no, he's
Bengal.
he's a Bengal.
Bengal.
And I'll tell you what, some Bengals. There was one that they caught walking through one of the parks. It was the biggest
It is
one.
Shere Khan, right?
Yes,
That
it was the-
wasn't.
yes. It was the biggest one that they had ever shot, and it was almost comparable to an Amur tiger, a Siberian tiger, which is crazy because they have, the Bengals. The reason why they also don't look quite as big is because the Siberians have to deal with the deep freeze of winter, so their coat's about 2 inches long
that makes
and
sense.
thick. It's dense. Whereas it's like a gloss on a Bengal tiger. It's fine and thin, and
Oh,
you can
shit.
actually see
So
all
if
the
you have a
their
Bengal
muscles.
that's almost the size of a
This was a
Siberian,
650-pound male
Bengal?
dude. Just the way it walked. I mean, it looked like one of those shredded bodybuilders just walk. That one. Now, that to me would probably be the ultimate cat. I don't think a lion or a Siberian tiger could take that one out. That one's that's the top.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I love them. I don't know how we got on this topic, but I love it.
Oh,
I
they're
love it.
epic.
I
Big
love
cats. Big cats.
I love it.
I've always dreamed of. It's one of my big things. Like, I contemplate giving it all up. I mean, all this.
my family, this
No,
podcast.
the
What,
family
man?
I would never give up. Come on, dude.
Contemplate giving
But
up the
I would give up
old-
time with the family because I would be the type of person to go and dedicate my life to something like that. But it's an
what's
everyday
weird?
thing.
What's weird to
That's
me
it.
is
You can't
here's
break
what I
it.
find weird.
What
is
about?
that, what? Tell me.
I was going to take up those tigers that aren't there. Is it lions or tigers that swim? There's like
Tigers.
Tiger.
Lions don't necessarily like. They'll brave it.
But
But
or
tigers
tiger.
love water. They
That's what I'm
specifically
saying. Tigers are like
They
badass.
swim
do
they swim
everything.
incredible.
like
Because there's
and
islands,
miles and
right?
miles
You're
and
talking about
miles.
they're in
Yeah.
Indonesia. So they're having to cross open oceans, and tigers
Exactly.
cross. They found,
Yeah.
this was so sad, but they actually rescued it. They
Right?
found a
Yeah.
female tiger adrift, pretty much with its head under the water in the middle of the ocean, a fishing vessel. Just in the middle, like literally in the middle of the ocean. And so they pulled it, and it kind of resuscitated, and they got it to one of the island, but it was like a 20-minute boat ride, dude. Wow. Like it had just drifted out and was going to die because it was trying to navigate through a channel that probably the current just was too strong. But they're incredible.
They're
Tigers
incredible.
are.
Yeah, you know what's funny to me though is that with all the roles that you've played and your passion for this, I don't think you've ever played anything like that.
I
right?
wanted to.
You never did, right? You could have
No.
you could have taken over for like the medicine woman, Dr. Quinn, the medicine woman. Did you take it over for her? Wasn't it what was that show? Dr. Quinn? Yeah, why
She's
didn't
not
you ever,
taking care of animals.
No, but you could have been
That's the name of the show, but what has to do with the wild? She took care of people, if I'm not
she did?
mistaken.
whatever. All right. Well,
Wait,
whatever.
hold on. I got to see this.
Oh,
if
why don't
it's
you
the
look
right
that
one.
up? Will you look up Shere Khan? Make sure you got that right
I'm
too.
sure
please?
that's right.
Is that right? Wasn't there a Medicine Man too? What was the
That's
other
the one. Medicine Man with Sean Connery. Still one of my favorite
one? But
movies.
he played. He was animals.
Well, he was a biologist who was looking for a cure of cancer
Right.
and found that it was this certain ant that had invaded his sugar glass. And when the ants collected the sugar, they took it back to their nest and created a chemical that beats cancer. And then he can't stop the logging company, and they log and burn down the forest before he can actually synthesize the cure, and they lose the cure for cancer.
Gotcha.
It's the whole thing in the movie. And he's like this grumpy old guy, and this young female biologist comes in and kind of softens his heart. It's a really great movie, dude. It's great.
I always thought Matt would be good if when they remake that movie that Anthony Hopkins played the gorilla. You know what I'm talking about, Matt?
No.
Matt loved that movie.
Did he? What movie?
Okay,
is it?
I understand why Joe got Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, a little bit confused with The Wild.
I thought she was out. Wasn't
She's
she
a
in the jungle?
doctor who takes care of people in a big city and moves to rural to help the rural people out.
It's a jungle.
A woman moved to Colorado, bro. Colorado Springs. That's where she moves in rural Colorado
really?
Springs in the 70s to take care of sick people.
I don't know. For some
nothing to
reason,
do with the
for some reason, I heard Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. I thought of you.
Instinct.
I don't know.
That's the one. Matt, you should
Instinct.
remake Instinct.
Basic Instinct?
No, Matt.
What's wrong with you?
But you play the Sharon Stone part.
I know.
I think you're either.
No.
I
Where's
think
that
you're either,
Merker? What does
I
he
think
call
you're
it?
either.
No, this guy.
I think you either
Instinct.
take over for Jane Seymour and Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman,
Anthony
or
Hopkins
you take
movie.
over for,
Oh, right.
or you take over for Sharon Stone and Basic Instinct. Those are my two remakes for
No,
Matt.
That doesn't make any sense.
Gosh.
No, Instinct. Remember with Anthony Hopkins who?
Yes.
thinks he's
Well,
a
speaking of
gorilla?
women-
I waited and waited for that movie. I didn't love it, but
I
it was
know.
good.
Matt made us all go.
All go.
I know we all went
And
and
we
saw
went
it.
and
but-
saw it, and it was not as good as I wanted.
No,
it to
I
be.
didn't-
No, it wasn't.
I
It
didn't
didn't
love it.
quite hit the mark right. But man, I'm obsessed with anything movies nature oriented and
Wolf,
stuff.
Jack Nicholson. He
I loved
that
it.
one.
Loved it.
Loved it.
Freaking loved it.
Benicio
I fell in love with Sharon. I fell in love with Michelle Pfeiffer from that
She was
movie. That was
great.
my first kind of introduction to her, and I was like, wow, she's so great in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah, she was really good in that. She was good in
It's
that.
like
What other
mother's milk to me.
Yeah.
Remember? What do you got? You hungry? Bacon. And she's like, no, but I could
Yeah.
maybe make you peanut butter and jelly. And he's like, peanut butter and jelly is like mother's milk to me.
Yeah. It was a. Yeah.
Driving the car.
Remember him on that rock
So
in
good.
Central Park or whatever when he.
Dude, it was so
Yes.
good. I love that movie.
There were moments that were really cool in that movie.
Yes.
I will say the end fighting sequence though is bizarre.
Between him and
It's the slow motion. They're
Yeah.
like
Who's he
bouncing off the
fighting in
walls.
I thought it was kind of cool
You
when I was a
did?
kid.
Rewatch it.
Because he jumps on the bars and is like
But who?
wolves, and they're like,
Who was he
"Ah."
fighting?
I want to say it's
Um,
Benicio del Toro, but it might not
No,
be.
no,
It
no,
might
no,
be
no,
James Spader.
Spader.
James Spader. That's right. That's
And
right.
he pisses, and then they're in the thing, and they're in the office building, and they're next to each other, and they're like, Jack Nicholson is kind of taking this guy's big case from him, and he's like, why would you do that? And he starts peeing on his shoe, and he's like, hey, what are you doing? He's like, I'm marking my territory. He was so good, dude. Oh my god.
That is so
And then when he's
odd.
looking, and he's getting his powers, and he realizes he can like see across the hall now, and he can hear everything in the whole.
That office building with the cool elevators.
So
those
cool,
like-
dude. It was like old school.
Yeah.
That was like when we were getting into modern filmmaking, but all the technique was still totally
Very
old
old.
school.
Yeah, it was.
Like that movie almost could have been in the 50s or 60s, really.
I know.
But it was modernized. But the shots, the way they did the shots were very like literally old movie. It was
Yeah.
a really cool movie.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah. Another movie you loved with an animal was Harry and the Hendersons. You loved that movie too.
I did.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
I did.
With
The
John
Bigfoot.
Lithgow.
Oh my
So
gosh.
That was actually really a good movie.
Oh, I love that movie,
Remember
man.
his head that comes up through the
Mm-hmm.
in the car hood? Oh, that was you ever seen Harry and the Hendersons? Have you seen that in a while?
Yeah.
It's actually a really good
I watch
movie.
it every couple of months.
No, it's another one was
Every
the one
couple
with Alec
months?
Baldwin and Anthony
No.
Hopkins, where they had Bart the
Edge.
Bear. The Edge. So great.
That's actually
There's
a
a
good
wolf
movie.
in it. There's
Yeah.
it's an amazing movie.
Oh yeah.
So good.
Wait, that's Alec Baldwin and
Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, The Edge.
Oh, you haven't seen it? Go check it out.
There's a bear in that.
Bart the Bear, the most
Oh, yeah.
famous bear. Yeah,
Right.
he's amazing.
Yeah. What other kind of animal movies were there? Weird.
Anaconda.
Well, of course, the movie that I fell in love with was
What?
White Fang. As a kid.
Oh,
Wait, was
yeah.
that Christian Slater?
No, Ethan Hawke.
Ethan Hawke.
Oh yeah, Ethan Hawke.
No, you idiot!
Oh,
Look how
there's
he just-
no
he's
comparison
so mad.
between
I know,
those
what do you
two.
mean,
There's no
dude?
comparison between those two. I mean, one is
No,
just
Ethan Hawke. Yeah.
infinitely more talented than the other, in my opinion.
What do you mean? You haven't seen Hard Rain?
No, I
Christian
haven't.
You ever see
Slater?
Pump Up the Volume?
Morgan
No,
Freeman?
I haven't.
Have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
Because Christian Slater literally
Isn't
is
it Hard
Jack
Rain?
Nicholson
He tried,
in this movie.
yeah.
Well, I know that was his whole thing.
Dude, I nailed it. Hard Rain, Morgan Freeman, Christian Slater. Even Sam was stumped on
I
that
haven't
one.
seen
and it was so bad.
Yeah.
Again, you could.
But honestly,
there's an
they-
infantile joke in there
Well,
somewhere.
where they lost me when I saw that movie is when they played "Blame It on the Rain" by Milli Vanilli. It was like, guys, it was raining,
and he's doing Michael Jackson in the rain.
Action
Gotta
sequence.
blame it on the rain.
You know what was another really Christian Slater? He's
Rain.
No,
There was a movie just called Rain.
Oh, really? Was he
Yeah.
in that one too?
I don't know. It was
No.
Rain Man, Black Rain,
Hard Rain.
dude. Black Rain.
Black Rain was sick.
Woo! Michael Douglas
Michael
and
Douglas,
yeah.
you know what's funny?
what's his face?
Andy Garcia.
Andy Garcia,
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
No, that
Great
was
movie.
actually a good
Dude, it was so good.
movie. When he starts to,
Amazing
and he starts to
movie.
lose his
Dude,
mind.
it was so
He doesn't know
good.
what he's.
It was
Oh,
so well
I
executed.
don't know what you're talking about. Losing his
So
mind.
well executed.
That's
No,
not
Black Rain
Black
was when two cops go
Yeah.
to hunt down there's
in Japan.
a
Yeah, remember the girl? Isn't that the one with Andy Garcia when the girl starts to tweak him out and he starts to think that?
No.
Remember she gets him to cheat on his wife and he's like,
No,
he's
that's
like,
Internal Affairs. Or something
oh,
else.
internal. That movie
Internal
was so
Affairs.
good.
No,
Andy
that's
Garcia was incredible in
that
that
was
movie,
Richard
dude.
Gere.
Oh
Andy
yeah,
Garcia.
yeah.
No, Black
Whoa.
Rain was two
You know what I
cops
think? Yeah.
basically working
Yeah.
a murder case, but they had to go
Yeah.
It
across,
was really good.
yeah, to a different continent to figure it
that's
out.
right. The poster was badass for that movie. It's like a
great.
yellow with him in front of like a car.
What are we talking about?
Or bike?
There was no
Black
yellow.
Rain.
It was all black.
Black and
It's all
purple
black.
and
It just looked like
From a
that.
bike, yeah.
Yeah,
No, there was
yeah.
another poster for it.
that was a
Matt,
really
you're thinking
cool
of Kill,
poster.
You're like Uma Thurman. Matt,
No.
that's Kill Bill.
He's thinking of
What?
Watchmen.
No, I'm thinking of another
Hold on,
movie.
poster for Watchmen. I think that was yellow. I think it was.
There was yellow. There was another one with Michael Douglas. I thought that was yellow.
Fallen. I don't know. There's that
What?
one too. Fallen.
I don't know.
Fallen. When he played the businessman who lost his, couldn't take it. He gets out of his
Oh,
car
dude,
and he goes on a
Ridley
ramp.
Scott directed it.
Oh, that's
Wonder.
amazing. That's
Black-
called Fallen.
Black Rain.
When he goes to order a burger and he.
Fallen down.
Fallen
Fallen
Down.
Down,
Yeah,
yeah.
great movie.
Great movie.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Ridley Scott directed Black Rain.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. Makes
there you
sense.
go.
Dude, the movie's
Yeah.
so
Now
good.
you know
So
why.
good.
Movie is
It's
so
so
good.
good.
It really is.
Scott.
Yeah.
Andy
Wow.
Garcia.
He'll go down as one of the
Andy
greats.
Garcia. That scene
Oh my god.
when those
Oh my
motorcycles
gosh.
around with
Around him
the
and
with the
he's- Have you
samurais.
seen it? When they take those samurais over.
Turn him into.
Decapitation!
Oh my gosh.
Dude, it was wild
Yeah.
though.
No, I know. Well,
And he's behind the
Yeah, it was
the
so
parking garage, like those chain door. You know, the one
Yeah.
they lower the sort of like the chain garage door, but you can still
Yeah.
see through it.
yeah.
Dude,
I know.
that
no.
was
No, it was cool.
good.
great movie.
Yeah, yeah.
good.
Great
Real
movie.
good.
Great movie.
Real good movie, guys.
Another movie that going down that same era. I think it was almost the same year. If I'm not mistaken, it was 87 or 88. It was Red Heat. Remember with
Oh.
Schwarzenegger and James Belushi?
Dude, one of my favorite.
I love
Dude,
that movie.
You know your onions, Joe. You know your onions. One of my favorite.
What?
It's an expression, old expression. You know your stuff.
Yeah.
That's what it means. Did you
We'll
not
get
know
into
that?
Andy actually wanted to talk about something which I want to
I know
talk
a lot
about
of
later,
old
which are-
expressions.
Yeah.
I've been,
He was killing me with
I'm
these old
bringing 'em
expressions.
back.
We'll get into it in a minute. But
I'm
go
bringing
ahead.
them back.
Go
You know
ahead.
your onions.
Anyway, but you know your onions. Of course I do. There's red. There's
boy.
Vidalia. There's just white.
Pearl.
Pearl.
Oh wow.
Scallions.
Maui sweet.
Yep. Several onions. So a lot of onions. Andy, what were you saying?
I just love that movie.
Oh my gosh.
There's a great scene where this lady goes to refill Jim Belushi's coffee, the waitress, and he's
Remember-
like,
and she- what was it?
"Dude, lady, I just got my coffee, perfect color.
It's a
Get out of
perfect
here.
color.
It's so good.
Perfect color,
It's so
please.
good. And
But
Schwarzenegger.
Schwarzenegger was
it's
so good. dude.
He really was.
And again,
Yeah.
culture clash. It was the Russian like KGB guy with like the American cop, and just it was great, dude. They were a great team. They were really funny at times, but the action was
Victor.
yes.
Wasn't the guy's name Victor?
Victor it was. Did you ever see that movie? Red Heat? Huh, figures.
Found one.
Like you've seen every movie on the planet.
Yeah.
Haven't seen that one? We knew it. I was kidding. No, we didn't. Sam has seen a plethora of films. Plethora times infinity. But not
I just
that
love
one.
movies. I
Yeah.
just love watching
I just
movies.
love watching movies.
I'll see a movie a day.
I watch a movie a day.
I'll
Yeah,
watch
I
a
really
movie a
do.
day.
A movie a day.
I'm being serious.
That's Tom Cruise, by the way.
Yeah, it is Tom Cruise. Yeah. Rain Man. Anyway.
I really do watch a movie a day.
So yeah, these expressions, we were getting into it before we started filming the pod today because Andy was
Well, I was like, Joe, let's paint the town red. He was like, what?
like, why?
I was like, let's make whoopee. He was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, it's all
Just
gravy.
give me a shot.
Take it
Joe.
away, Ann.
Give me a shot, Joe. And I was like, give me a shot. But you told me an interesting story about the sort of the meaning behind give me a shot. You know, when you walk into a bar, he's like, I'll take a shot. Give me a shot.
Oh, where shot exists because back in the Western days, cowboys would go in and give them a round, a shell, a bullet, a 45 usually, long
for a
Colt,
small little
for a drink.
for a small little
So it would be an exchange. So you would give them a 45 long Colt shell, a shot, and then they would give you a shot to
a
drink.
small little bit of alcohol.
And
Isn't
now
that funny?
yeah, that's where the shots for shot
Interesting.
came from. Did
I
you know
love-
that, Matt?
I did not know that, Andy.
Lies! We talked about that a few days ago.
Way to blow it.
I know.
I was acting. No, Matt, we're not acting in here. This is real. We don't act down here. Okay?
Yes, Andy, you've been talking about it for days.
I have. I like that one. I
What
like
other
that
one you got?
Piss poor.
Okay.
Came from back in the day when people used to have like the you would pee in bottles and give your pee to hide traders for dye, and that was a lower wage of income. So that was
Yes,
that was
and I
called
can
piss poor.
further this.
Matt actually
Do you
still
know
does
what you got?
this.
You know what that expression is?
I've
I don't
actually
even.
done it.
You know the expression? I don't even have a pot to piss in.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah,
That's because if you didn't have a bathroom or a place to go,
Yeah.
then what normal people would do is would take a pot,
And
piss
then-
in it, and then
yeah,
dump it out the window.
yeah.
But if you don't even have a pot to piss in,
yeah.
then you really don't have anything.
True.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
it comes from.
Yeah. You had a lot of jars that you peed in.
Matt does that whole. Matt has a lot of bottles of Howard Hughes. Howard Hughes is it.
Howard.
I may have been studying Howard Hughes.
Oh my gosh.
Wanted to get into the mindset of the Hugh man.
Yep. Wanted to know how he could walk around with those long toenails, so I grew mine out. Oh my
Look,
God.
still got him to this
Oh,
day.
jeez.
Been growing them for 23 years.
I could climb a mean tree though.
I can throw off a hiker any day when they
Oh,
walk by a
that's
tree
so
and
funny.
look, a bear must have climbed that tree.
That's so
no,
funny.
it was me.
It was me. Yeah, interesting. What else? You got any other ones?
No, he doesn't have anything
I
to
know
do.
there's
that's
so
it?
many.
No,
Oh.
he's got nothing.
Okay.
Pardon my French.
What's the meaning behind that? I mean, I've heard it obviously.
Pardon my French. What's the French part?
But you're an
Oh,
asshole.
so in Britain
that was from
in
Ferris
Britain,
Bueller.
it's a tendency to attribute anything even a little bit rude to the French.
Oh gosh.
That's why that exists.
French are rude. Huh.
Wow.
Weird.
Well, I think that was. They're
Did you
stoic,
see
that's for
Macron
sure.
get pushed in the face by his wife and then
Oh,
tried
what?
to cover it? He was like,
What?
no problems. Nothing to
Wait a
see
minute, wait a minute.
here.
Not to digress, but
Nothing to see here.
there's nothing. She was giving me a little love tap, as we call it.
Everything is
That was nothing. He's literally,
totally fine.
I mean, it was bad. He's like literally talking to her like this, and it's literally like,
I know.
And he's like,
Les poissons, les poissons.
oh.
Oh,
Oh,
my
my
wife just
Lord.
took a swat at me, and nothing else is wrong. That's why I leave France, and I want to sing a song. Like,
Sing and dance here in France.
Oh my gosh.
no, but first of all, here's what I love though, and I don't know what's up with the media. Like, why are you covering? And they're saying like his story was they were just horsing around
I know.
as he was
dude.
about to exit the
Oh
plane.
my gosh.
But wait a minute, and I didn't know any of this. But
I'm
did you-
sick and tired. I
Did
think
you read the backstory of his wife?
no.
So she was his teacher.
Huh?
She met him. She is 27 years older than him. She met him when he was 14 and thought he was a real talent and started dating him shortly after he was 14 or 15.
What?
And then, yes. And then
What's the legal age in France?
I don't know. I don't know. I have to look it up.
Is it 16?
So, first of all, she's 25 years older than him. And he was a minor. Macron had described it as a love often clandestine, often hidden, and misunderstood by many before imposing itself on her will. That's what she's described it as.
Oh my gosh, the legal age is 15 in France.
Yeah. So
she
met him at 14.
I didn't think that was even going to be a joke.
She met him at
the
14.
legal age is 15?
Yeah.
A 15-year-old can date someone in their 50s?
So no.
That's crazy.
She's 25 years older. 25 years older.
Well, I'm just saying.
Yeah. Right.
She was 40, guys. Basically my age dating a freaking 15-year-old. That is weird,
creepy, man.
dude.
A little creepy.
But the weird thing is that maybe not the weird thing, but they're still together. But she had aspirations.
That's because she
for him.
owns that
Bro,
man.
we already
Clearly.
talked about this,
Thumbs
but
up.
the last guillotine happened in France the same year that Star Wars came out.
77?
Yeah.
Oh my
They
God.
cut off somebody's head in France.
Yeah.
Wow.
In
So,
public, I believe.
It's just, it's amazing.
They got some strange rules over there.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing. I didn't know that. She's 72 years old now.
Wow.
Yeah. And he's 40 something.
Wow.
48?
Interesting.
47. He's 47.
Wow.
Gosh. Wow.
Well, that's mad as a hatter. You want to know where that expression came from?
Tell me.
Back in the 1800s, hats were typically made out of felt. Hatters, people who made the hats, and the industrial workers would use poisonous substances called mercury nitrate in the process of making the fur of small animals into felt. Because of this, they would all go mad.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Wow. I like that.
Joe's not listening, but
I am.
okay.
No, it's just I was honestly just trying to figure out more about this story because
Well,
I
you
know
know,
I heard
love
a
is
bunch of
love.
that. Yeah, love is
You know?
love. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just incredible to me. I want to say no. She did. She was his teacher. She was his teacher.
That's
Yeah.
crazy, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And look at that. She took that 15-year-old little prepubescent boy all the way to the leader of France.
She was 39. He was 14.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's creepy.
Yeah.
Really creepy.
When they found out,
It's creepy.
he had feelings
There's
for
absolutely nothing
the
that they have in
teacher.
common.
His parents.
It's just weird.
So she met him. He was in Catholic school. Bridget worked as a drama teacher there. Okay. And when his parents found out that he had feelings for her, they sent him to boarding school. He had to leave Paris. And they said he had to fall in love with someone his own age. However, she kept in touch with him over the years. Bridget was married at the time and had 3 children who were all Emmanuel's age.
Oh my!
And she chose to prioritize them.
That is something wrong.
it's a wolf in sheep's clothing,
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it's
Wow, Andy. That's deep.
yeah.
right?
She does
Matthew.
now.
That's
Yeah.
the Bible verse it's from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Matthew what?
And it means
16?
7.
No, that's John
7:15. Let's bury the hatchet, guys. You know, I did a reading of the book of Matthew.
I know you did.
I
Yes, you did.
with Sean
Astin.
Sean Astin.
I remember
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Let's bury the hatchet, which came from the 1600s, first recorded, when Native Americans would bury their weapons upon a peace agreement.
Of course.
Wow.
The
Interesting.
hatchets.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just stuck. I'm just reading this story. It's unbelievable. It's just she said it's been embarrassing at times for us, and painful to my children and my grandchildren.
I'm
But-
sure.
This is but it's very important to me. And he's described her as his anchor that has somehow kept him balanced throughout his life.
Well,
He's kept him
that's
honest, focused on his job, without sparing him the truth. Okay, so there's that.
Very
that was
interesting.
definitely an embarrassing moment for him. That's for sure.
Well, I mean, look,
I just
everybody,
wrote-
everybody quarrels.
Oh, sure.
Hopefully not
That-
physically,
Well, not physically,
but
but
everybody
that
quarrels.
was an interesting, definitely caught on the hot mic thing. That was
Just the look that he had after was
well, this
priceless.
was my favorite. She pushed me. He goes, "Huh, hi."
I know, you
How are
you
you?
realize there's a camera directly on him. It
Yeah,
was so
and then
funny.
puts on the fakest politician smile.
It's so funny.
Oui.
So funny.
You know, what would you consider an embarrassing moment like on film for you, which would not be in real life but on camera? Like what was something that embarrassed you that like you had to do on camera?
Oh, I don't know about on camera, but 93 through 97, at the time, I wish I could have deleted it from
The whole 4
the
years?
internet or from whatever it was out there. at
What do
that
you mean?
point.
What was on the internet? Oh, you mean just pictures of you and stuff?
Yeah, I just
Oh, was
didn't.
there
I
ever-
wish I wasn't. That to me was like I didn't want to be in the public eye. Period. In that time of my life, just didn't like it. Didn't want
Okay.
it. Didn't want anything to do with it.
Interesting.
So if you're talking about
was
on
there ever
film,
was there ever something you had to do that you felt super self-conscious about on camera?
so many different things.
Were you self-conscious about dancing on the table in the scene in Mrs. Doubtfire? Because I know you were kind of introverted. You were not an extrovert like that. So that was even more than just acting. You had to like dance and perform a scene.
Was that
eerie
movie
for you, or did you feel comfortable?
No, that movie is a weird outlier.
Okay, so you felt comfortable the whole time.
Yeah, 100% comfortable, and I think that's because they gave everybody the time to rehearse. You were working with everybody. And then also they were so lovely that it felt like family. It was
Didn't
weird.
you say you had there was some scene that you did?
It was it was the most awkward, I think.
Okay.
It'll go down as the most awkward ever for me.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
some
unbelievably awful.
Yeah, you had just a small part in that, but you had to be basically
I was a guy
nude,
that this
right?
she was trying to, the way it was pitched to me, because it was just a scene.
Yeah.
And I was like, guys, I'm not
right.
really doing this.
But it was one of those.
They were like,
when
listen,
they pitched you, it was like
Michelle Monaghan, she's coming off of
whatever it was.
Mission Impossible.
Right.
She wants to make the Oscar turn like Charlize Theron did with Monster.
Right, I get it.
And this one's called Trucker. You see the
course.
the mirror
One
there,
word, baby.
And this was about
One
a
word.
female trucker
Yeah.
who like is this bad mother or
Right,
this and
I
that,
get
and has
it,
to
I
turn
get
her
it,
life
I
around.
get it.
Anyway, she meets this guy in a truck stop, and the way they pitched for me was like, hey, Brad Pitt got his break from Thelma and Louise just like this.
Yes, right.
That's what this character is.
Right.
It's one scene. It's nudity. It's sex. It's in a...
Yeah.
Anyway,
Brad Pitt would do it.
Super awkward.
they convinced me that this was something I needed to do for my career, and
always agents know best.
the scene was she was
That's a joke.
drunk,
Yeah.
drunk
Yeah.
at this truck stop in the middle of the desert,
Okay.
and has this fling with another truck driver or something. For this one scene, it was a week at a motel.
What?
Yeah, a full week at a motel, just for one scene, a week
Oh.
at a motel in the middle of the desert
Yeah.
in August.
Oh boy.
It was 108 degrees outside, average temperature during the day.
123 inside.
There was only 6 people allowed in the room because of all the nudity, but they had to turn the air off, and it's lit. And back in those days, there weren't LEDs; they were still halogen 10K bulbs.
Right, of course.
Right. So that 100, even though they ran the AC during cut, that maybe got it down to 85 in that hotel room.
Dude.
The minute they turned it off, it shot up to 100. So when I say it was like we both had baby oil on and there was no baby oil, it was just sweat.
That's the worst.
3-4 days in the bed underneath those conditions. She had a Band-Aid and I had a Band-Aid, and that's it. I had to officially disconnect from my body and go to another place to make that happen.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I just would have probably gone, you know what? This is not there's no money on the planet you could pay me to do this. Like, cross my mind. Like, how do I get out of this?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Cross my
wow.
mind.
Well, Andy, do you have an embarrassing moment? Because
Not really.
mine pales in comparison to that. I was going to say Andy's probably the dance scene from The Other Me, and mine is he was great in that. But mine, I mean, I remember. I mean, it's so funny because it's such a mild version, but none of us really nor did we take our shirts off or anything like that on camera. Remember, like growing up, we didn't really do that, right?
No.
We didn't. I mean, I would always have a tank top on.
No, in fact, I'll give you a story. It took Michael a season and a half to get me to even do it.
Michael Jacobs and Boy Meets
Michael
World.
Jacobs, sorry, let me explain. Michael Jacobs and Boy Meets World. Took him a season and a half to even get me to lift my shirt
Right.
up.
They were always trying to
was not into it.
blossom, and
Not
I didn't want to
into
do it. Right.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do it. And I never did it. I always
Yeah.
wore tank tops.
Yeah.
It's so funny. And I don't know what I was thinking, but there was this new show called The Torkelsons that Brittany Murphy was in, believe it or not. And they had just picked it up for season 2, and they had renamed the show, I think, Almost Home. But okay. And Brittany Murphy was great. And
I remember she came around a bunch. We had a dinner with her a bunch.
Yeah.
That's why it was quite jarring when she passed.
They wanted me to come on there and basically do a guest spot to help launch the second season of the show with the new name, because I was really popular at that time. And
oh yeah.
And the scene was that I was working in a chicken restaurant, okay? And they were both employees. And they were obviously, her and her best friend in the show were fighting over gaining my affection, right? And Brittany even has a line in there that says, you look at that guy from Blossom. It was very meta, but very funny. And I was like, really? Well, that's funny. Anyway, they spill a drink on me by accident fighting, and then they try to clean it up, and they have to rip open my shirt. And I didn't know that's what the part was because my agent was like, hey, you're going to go on this show. You know, it's going to be great. I was like, oh, I love Brittany. She's great. You know, she's done some really good work.
It's funny.
And-
Agencies would the way they used to handle
Yeah,
actors, it would leave out. They
Yeah.
didn't necessarily lie.
No, but they
would just leave out the information they knew
right,
their clients would
right,
have a problem with.
So I get there and I look at the scene and I'm like, wait a minute. And of course they want the shirt to come off because they want it in the promo. They want it. And I was like, wait a minute. And you know that it was the most, I was so self-conscious and so embarrassed. And I was not young. I was probably like 16.
Well, that's still like, for example,
But I
didn't want my shirt
what's
off.
that female? And they ripped it off in the scene. Anyway.
What's that female who did that to Justin Bieber when he was 16? I think at like the AMA, she just goes in and starts kind of groping him and kissing him.
Oh,
and
yeah.
She didn't realize.
It was somebody.
She didn't realize. She was just going for it, but she didn't realize. Look, whether you're a guy or a girl, 16 is a very convoluted age.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why I was saying about the macaron thing, like the macaroni thing. Even though he's not Italian, it's weird. It's just there's a lot going on inside of a teenager at that age.
I remember I was so self-conscious and they were
So
like,
just to do that, like they clearly had no clue as to the impact that it has. As you see, Justin Bieber still kind of talks about it to this day.
Well, and honestly, I remember it.
Yeah,
because
I'm sure,
like,
dude.
they had to do that. And I remember it was, look, we even filmed those shows in front of a live audience. And I believe it or not, as famous as I was and as public as I was really, as you know, we were very modest with that stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, yeah, it was just a big deal in our family, to not do that.
Yep.
No shirtless stuff, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you remember when when they were doing the Joey Russo doll, Mom made them put underwear on the doll.
Yep,
They didn't even
I
want
remember
them-
actually.
Remember that?
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
a big thing. They
Yeah.
were like, oh, it's going to cost us an extra
Because when you take the jeans
30
off,
cents.
it was a nude, but it wasn't anything. But it was still a nude shape.
with
like,
my
yeah,
and at
my
the
mom
time,
just didn't want it.
there's all a bunch of unwell people out there,
Yeah.
and we get a lot of fan mail that was very unwell, and my mom would know about that more than I did.
Of course.
Stalkers and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I remember that she was adamant about underpants on the doll, and they were really fighting back because I guess it was costing them like an extra 13 cents or 30 cents a doll to put the underwear on, but she got it done. Anyway,
Amazing.
but I'll never forget that scene. It was actually it was a very cute scene, but I didn't want to do the I didn't feel like I needed to have my shirt ripped off,
Right.
and they wanted it full ripped off. Anyway, so that was an embarrassing moment for me. But
Did they rip it off?
They did.
Oh, okay, got it.
But I don't know why. I guess I just, like you, it's like I was sitting there, how do I get out of this? Literally, it reminded me of a much more modest version, but I was like, how do I get out of this? And then I just felt bad, going like, oh, I don't want to blow up the whole scene, and I was like, maybe I could just pull it halfway off. And I think one of the takes, they just kind of ripped it, but then one of the takes, I think they probably told them, Brittany and the girl, rip it. And they came completely open. And of course, that was the promo they used in the show. And anyway, it's out there.
Yeah, for sure.
You're sure? I'm so sorry.
It's all right. It was just an accident.
Carrie, you are so. Let me help you.
Yeah, no,
no,
I'm sorry.
I didn't. Let me in.
Andy, do you have a moment like that?
I don't know. Not really.
Was someone Bean that he made you do? Rowan Atkinson, did he make you do anything?
No.
Very embarrassing on Bean?
No. I don't know. Not really.
Okay. Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
No embarrassing moments for you, huh?
I mean, maybe in life, but on a set, no.
life,
I have no
please, no.
inhibitions. I let it all
Andy,
go.
We only have another.
I let all my inhibitions go, and moving is the
Well, I'm
truest
acting,
form of thespian I am. And no, not really. I mean, I'm sure there's some stuff,
Were you embarrassed about doing that? Like, for instance, were you self-conscious doing that dancing scene? in
Most
The Other Me?
definitely, yeah. But only because there was like 50, 60 people in the
I knew it,
cafeteria,
yeah.
and I don't, and
Yeah,
I'm like a kid.
No, I understand.
And I didn't
remember
like dancing.
I remember you being nervous about that because I remember you were practicing that routine at home.
I just didn't like it.
with the boombox.
I don't
Remember,
like
he
it.
came into the kitchen, performed it for us. But as much as Andy was an extrovert, and he would go on
Yeah.
the Tonight Show with Leno and do his Jokers and his Jim Carreys, that was a much more. He was very. I knew you were very
dancing
embarrassed about
in
that.
front of
Yeah.
people. That's a lot, man.
Yeah.
That's why I was asking if you were nervous, but not in that situation on Mrs. Doubtfire, huh?
No, that was so much fun, dude. They it was.
Yeah, that's-
first of all, they asked me what would you like at your party, and I said animals. I gave them a list of music, and they just made it happen.
It's awesome.
And then Robin's like, we're gonna jump on this table. It was kind of just impromptu. We're
cool.
gonna jump
So
on this
cool.
table and dance right now.
awesome.
And I
So
was like,
cool.
yeah, heck yeah, I would
awesome.
dance with Robin right now.
awesome. That's
That was
awesome.
fun. Yeah.
That's awesome. But for Andy to dance,
There was actually nothing about the Mrs. Doubtfire experience. it was all the opposite of that. Man.
Yeah.
And it has to be
Super
because of
comfortable.
Robin and Christopher Columbus.
I'm sure.
They set this tone where like you never. I mean, with what Robin was doing, you didn't have any worries. In fact, it pulled you to want to even go further with it.
You know, in another way, I had to do, as you know, we did a lot of comedy growing up, right? Most of us. But when I did Chains of Gold, it was very dramatic. A lot of crying scenes. That movie I did with John Travolta, where I played the son of a drug addict who ended up selling drugs to support his mother, and then John Travolta was the social service agent that was dedicated to my case. And when I went missing, I was kidnapped by the drug lords. He had to go in and save me. Actually, it's a really cool movie. But there was a lot of scenes, stuff that like get thrown around. I had to get beat up, threatened when I was kidnapped by the drug lords. And we were in some dungeons in Miami with cockroach. Anyway, to your point, it just reminded me of what you said about Robin. John set such a tone on that set. Nothing scared me.
Yeah.
Nothing made me nervous.
Yeah.
He was so incredible. And it was just the greatest. It was one of the single greatest experiences that I've ever had working on Chains of Gold with John. But to your point, obviously, that kind of a movie, I'm sure it was even more so with Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah, the comedies make it easier, man. They really do. Like,
Yeah.
Even on the set of The Hot Chick with
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Adam Sandler and Rob Schneider, they did the same thing. Like I had no. I mean, I would just go
funny,
for bits. And it's fun.
Yeah.
When I did the Tom show with Andy Dick and Chris Farley, I was terrified. Absolutely terrified.
That's so funny.
No.
You were a little kid. And those
The
were
only
big
terror moments.
personalities.
The other telling you're talking about a sitcom, right?
Yeah.
The only terror moments for me on a sitcom is when you got to come in
Live audience.
and it's a big entrance and everybody's waiting for it. And it's a big joke and you got to come in,
Nail it.
You got to so you got to time the last 3 or 4 steps.
Yeah.
Down or up, whatever that staircase is, because you're stuck there. By the way, too, the whole scene. There is no out.
It's true.
You're stuck on a staircase.
Movies insulate you from
really do.
from any mistakes.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Really.
and yeah. But now that live audience that's a different,
because it's tough.
whole different animal.
And you don't want to ruin that. You don't want to. You don't want to muck
you
up
got
the
people
laugh.
out there. You've been waiting. There's a whole 3 or 4 minute scene going on, and you got the button.
Yeah.
And you got to time it right. And sometimes you're just sitting back there, and you go, "Oh no!
Yeah.
That's my cue."
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
So that stuff, and then you got to come out there and you got to nail it. Sometimes it's that apprehension, that waiting, that sometimes can build the nerves up. So that would happen.
But you know what, guys? Never with you. Never with you guys.
What?
All my nerves are dampered with you guys.
Yeah, with
That's
the
not
brothers.
true. I had nerves on Brotherly Love when we did that sitcom.
Oh, Matt, you're supposed to just.
You did.
Yeah, I did.
I guess we all do, you know.
But
as
not
as a
but not
true
amongst
artist.
the three of us.
No, not amongst the three of us. Just
Not here on the pod.
No,
Nothing makes us nervous. I don't know if you've noticed.
I don't know about that. Actually,
Everyone's like, and it's just us. No one else is listening.
sometimes I get nervous.
Yes.
Look at that. We've got 9 views. 8,
7, 6.
6,
Oh,
5.
the old Ferris Bueller moment.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to do something this weekend as we do our send off here on the Brotherly Love Pod, go watch Ferris Bueller. Honestly.
What?
Yes.
Joe.
It's one of the best movies ever. I don't
So
know
that
why I
is
just
the
got that thought.
strangest-
It makes me so happy to watch that movie.
Because
guys.
you started to count down from 9, which is one of the
Yes.
scenes in
That's what
Ferris
he was just
Bueller.
doing.
I know, but nobody knows that, and you blew by it so fast, everyone's going to be confused.
Even
and now
I
you're-
was like,
and now
what?
he's suggesting the movie. Guys, I mean, if you really want to go see a good movie, go check out Braveheart.
Oh,
It's a heck of a 3 hours.
Oh, God.
Look, if you got 4.5 hours to kill, get yourself some snacks, a nice cozy corner of the couch.
Watch Avatar 1 and 2.
Oh, God.
Oh,
What a
gosh.
nightmare. No. Waterworld. All right. You got 2 hours and 49
Actually,
minutes.
I loved Waterworld.
Actually, I liked
It was
I
Waterworld.
loved it.
It was not
dude.
bad.
I could watch that movie.
He had gills. Can
Yeah.
you imagine
It
being able to
I
swim
can
under
watch
the
that.
water?
There were
Man.
elements of it that were really cool.
I used to
can
go to the
agree.
bottom of the pool. I told you this, and pretend
What
like
do you
I
mean?
could swim.
You used to make me watch
You
you do
know.
it.
Pretend like I could breathe.
Yeah, you
the,
used to
the
make
water.
me watch
yeah.
you do it.
I used to
Yes.
love it.
Anyway. All right, guys, that's it. We're out of here.
Love you guys.
Yo,
ya.
love you
Love
too.
you all out there.
Absolutely.
Like and subscribe on our YouTube. Thanks again for being here.
Yeah.
Happy weekend.
Yes.
Have a great weekend.
Try it again. Jeez. Have it.
Have a great one. And we will see you guys next week.
Check out our merch and our links.
I already did. I did the
You
link.
didn't say merch,
I didn't say merch, but I said the link already.
did he?
Yep.
You guys are fighting. Oh boy, let me try.
Thank
Go
you
ahead,
guys
Joe.
so much.
Goodbye.
You're the worst. This is the pod, and And we hope to see you guys here. God, we hope to see you guys here next week.
Please come back.
Please, right here on the, what is it, Andy?
Check out our show. Please
Bye,
come
guys.
back.
Goodbye.
Please, cue applause.
Goodbye.
Let's get the hell out of here.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us here on the Brotherly Love Pod.
Please like and subscribe to our YouTube.
And check out our online merch store. You can find the link in our show description.
For bonus content, subscribe to our premium feed, and we will see you next week.